What is up? Welcome back to the Triple Cross podcast. We have some fun stuff to talk about today. There are trade rumors in LA. LeBron James might get traded. NBA All-Star voting for the 2023 All-Star team has started. We've got some results in. We're going to go over. We're going to talk about how fans have it right or how they ruin things. Also, we're going to just, check out some Jordan Clarkson fighting compilations because the dude likes to fight. That is coming right up on Triple Cross.
Lillard with 47 tonight. Working it down to 2-1. A deep three. Oh! What? Blazers win the series. A walk-off three for Damian Lillard.
Samuel, wide receiver screen. Good play. Big play. And in for the touchdown.
And Turner looks for the deep left field. Ranging back is Profar, and it's a 1-0 start for the Dodgers.
Second batter of the game, and the Dodgers take a 1-0 lead.
What's up, Triple Cross Podcast? We are here to talk NBA. I am John. I'm here with Casey. Casey, you look good tonight, man. You're looking good.
Thanks, bro. Just kind of riding that swagger train right after this playoff game. The Niners just pulled out against
all green, though.
Seahawks.
It's all the green Niners gear. I like it. I like
kinda,
it, man.
It's kind of how I roll, man.
Niners, we
Gotta
just
be a little
streamed
different.
earlier today. Niners beat the Seahawks. What was the score? A lot to a little.
Yeah, I don't remember the final score. It was 41-17.
Yeah.
That feels
They really took the wind out of their sails.
That's true.
But let's talk some NBA here. So I want to start out with so I think sometime in the last week, definitely since the last time we did an NBA show, there are rumors coming out of LA. So LeBron James cannot be traded this year. However, there are rumors that they may be shopping him as early as the summer, and or it's very unclear because LeBron won't comment on it, which is the first thing in the history of ever that LeBron won't comment on.
That's kind of the truth.
Yeah, LeBron refuses to comment on this for the first time ever. But he is maybe there's some rumors that he might demand a trade as early as the summer, or during the off season, or that they actually might be shopping him. This is pretty crazy because the man might be, many think the best basketball player of all time. There is no precedent for trading anyone who's in the discussion for greatest of all time. LeBron has never been traded in his 20-year career. He's always played out his contract and then moved on to a new team. So this would be pretty crazy. This would be unprecedented. And especially, what's really crazy about it is some of the teams that they're talking about is Bojan Bogdanovic, he could go to the Pistons. You know what I mean? LeBron with one of the worst teams in the league. Cause if they trade him, I don't know. And I'm sure he has some say in it. So I doubt that he's just going to let himself.
Do you have any insight into the contract? Is there a no trade clause or anything like that in place?
I believe there's a no trade clause for this season, so they cannot in season trade him this year. Okay. But they can, I think, after this season.
Interesting.
Don't quote me on that.
How many? Do you happen to know how many years might be left on that contract?
Yeah, how many years are left on LeBron James's contract? I do not know off the top.
It's not like guys like him sign short deals,
Yeah, I want to say there's maybe 2 years left on his contract. Yeah, he just signed a 2-year extension through the 2024-2025 season. So he is on a 2-year extension. So if he gets traded, essentially some team's going to get 2 years out of him.
What do you think matters to him as far as landing spot? Mostly just big market, good for the brand more than anything.
A couple things. I think he wanted to go out in LA. Many NBA players do. I think they feel like it sets them up for a career after basketball well.
Sure.
They like the big market. They, going to a place like Boston or LA, if you want to win rings in the twilight of your career, that's not usually a bad place to do it. We saw this from Karl Malone, who went and joined Shaq and Kobe, and they lost. to the freaking Detroit Pistons, who didn't even have an all-star. We saw it with like Steve Nash went to LA late in his career. Gary Payton was on that Karl Malone team. They were really good. So yeah, like that's really common. I think he wanted to close out in LA when he left Cleveland. I think that was the plan. So I think he kind of maybe still wants to. I don't know if he'd go across town to the Clippers, but a couple other things are important to him. One, I think he wants to win rings because that's the thing that is keeping him from. That's the thing that has a lot of people still saying MJ is the GOAT and he isn't. So I think he wants to win rings.
He's optimizing for though. I mean, if you had the choice to go to like a New York team or something, like you might do that just for the big market. But I mean, why not another stop back in Cleveland if you're looking for rings though?
That's actually one of the rumors. I mean, what would Cleveland have to give up for him? If LA would be willing to go into full rebuild and take, they
need players, right? Like you're not going to get there with picks, right? Am I wrong for saying that?
If they went into full rebuild mode, then like eventually LA will be back. You know what I mean? Like they'll trade their picks for players down the line or whatever. But if they trade LeBron, that's like burn it down. You know what I mean? I guess maybe they're building around Anthony Davis then, but that's most likely you're burning it down. So, but yeah, I mean, if Cleveland really has to do too much to what they've got going on, I don't know if I'd do it if I were them. They would, because it's Cleveland, like it's Cleveland and it's LeBron. But like, if you gotta move Donovan Mitchell or maybe Darius Garland, I might move Darius Garland, maybe Darius Garland, maybe Jared Allen, but like, or Evan Mobley, one of the two. But yeah, I don't know if they could match LeBron. I mean, those guys are on like early, like they might still be on their rookie deals. So yeah, I mean, I don't think that would even work out for him, but yeah. So anyway, I don't know. LeBron getting traded, maybe. The other thing I think that is important to him is he has said that if a team picks his son Bronny, that's where he wants to be. He wants to play.
That's a good point. Right.
Yeah. So there's that as well. And also LA is not really doing what he wants. He wants them to trade away. They have 2 first-round picks coming up, and he wants them to trade them away for another asset. He wants them to be in win now mode.
I was trying to go incognito here while you were talking and go into the NBA trade machine and add LeBron in Cleveland and see what would happen, but they won't even let you entertain the notion of trading LeBron
for real
on the NBA trade machine. I mean, maybe Tom Brady in the NFL, but I've never seen a guy. I mean, obviously, there's probably other guys. It's just because he has a signed contract, but like,
they're like,
feels so NBA to be like, don't even.
Right. It's because it's protected right now.
Right. Exactly. But also like
restriction
why would fans care? Like, make that resource available. NBA, get your stuff together.
The restriction expires February 16th, which I believe is the trade deadline. So then we would be able to play out a trade there. But
1 month from now, we can go check that out. We'll
looking at it though. He's making $44 million a year. I mean, the only person, Kevin Love's contract will expire and he probably won't get re-upped. But I mean, Jared Allen, I mean, it'd be like, yeah, Darius Garland's still on his like rookie extension. Evan Mobley's on his rookie deal. Like, God,
I mean, it'd have to be something like Darius Garland and Jared Allen, like together, and then some picks.
Yeah,
probably. Like,
and then probably picks, and maybe even
deals.
You might even
add them to a
rebuild.
They're veteran players who could help in a rebuild situation. Add a couple picks. Maybe you move on from Russ next year. You keep Davis. You kind of move on with like a Davis, Garland, like Allen mix, plus whatever pick you have with like a Pat Bev if you re-sign him or somebody.
They're going
to re-sign one of their guys on the Lakers side of those like top.
Karis LeVert is good. So I mean, the Cavs could do a thing where they just say, "Hey, we're going to move on from Garland," and so we're going to move Garland and like. Who did you say? Jared Allen. So we're gonna move Garland and Jared Allen for LeBron. Maybe we'll throw like a Ricky Rubio in there because that actually is a piece that the Lakers could use, like a guard who can shoot a little bit better.
Sure.
And one who's a good distributor.
When we're talking about Darius Garland, though, that huge contract and stuff, like obviously like a 6-year contract is like worth a lot. Like give me a profile. You know more about Garland, I'm sure, than I do. Like give me a little profile.
Darius Garland is a fantastic trade target because he's on a 6-year rookie extension at $8.9 million a year, and he's way better than that. He's so much better than that.
Right, so, and that, like, that's the kind of value you need to add, in my opinion, just in any sport to
Yep.
to even consider trading for like a go. You need some like high value contract that can pay off big time to even consider trading away a guy like LeBron.
Yeah.
So maybe Garland is that one of those pieces.
So Garland, Allen, maybe Ricky Rubio in there, plus picks if they have them. And yeah, maybe that would do it. And maybe that brings LeBron back to Cleveland. And then we're looking at a backcourt.
They might even maybe they slough another player across too on the Lakers side, even, you know, depending on the pick kind of thing.
Yeah, then we've got a backcourt, or you keep Ricky Rubio and just let Karis LeVert go to free agency. You know, because Karis LeVert is pretty highly paid for what he's producing now. He should be so much better, right? So a backcourt of Karis LeVert and Donovan Mitchell would work, but we already know a backcourt of Donovan Mitchell and Ricky Rubio works because that worked in Utah. So
can I highlight something really quick, John? And you tell me if this is normal. I'm sorry to interrupt, but like we're talking about potentially trading LeBron here. LeBron is one of 4 players on the Lakers' entire roster who signed through next year. That's it.
Yeah.
You have LeBron, Davis, Jones, and Christie, and that's it.
They could completely.
And we're talking about trading away one of those pieces. Like you have to recover some assets that are locked up for multiple seasons, like the 6 or. I mean, what if?
No,
what
if that's a little less. That's probably what you're talking about. Is probably a little less important than the NBA. But yeah,
sure. But at the same time, they have to field a team. You know what I mean? Like, no matter what sport, at the end of the day, they're going to have to fill it out. You're going to want fewer of those 1 year contracts because those are guys that are you're not sure on, or else you'd give them more than 1 year. You know, if you were the Cavs though, if the Lakers said we're not entertaining anything unless you include Don, do you even consider that? At this point in their careers,
if I'm anyone else and I have Donovan Mitchell, absolutely not. Cleveland probably would because it's Cleveland and it's LeBron.
Ouch.
Yeah,
they just made a big trade to get him too, though, and he's
a
good point though.
In my opinion, the best guard in the East. Kyrie is playing really well, but in my opinion, Donovan Mitchell's the best guard in the East. I mean, like that puts him right in the running for best guard in the league. Like,
sure,
you got Steph, you know, maybe who's better than him. Dame at his best. Devin Booker can on good days. John Morant, maybe. You know what I mean? Like these are the only guys who can sniff him. Luke, I guess Luke is a guard. I mean, Luka might be that good.
That's fair. That's fair.
But like, yeah, these are the only guys who can even sniff him. This guy's a top 10 guard in the league for sure. Maybe probably a top 5 guard in the league this year.
The Lakers, if you're the Lakers in any trade for LeBron, you don't mind paying out. Because look how much salary they're going to clear this year. I mean, they have all these 1 year contracts. Yeah. They're all going to be off the books unless they resign. And then are they going to resign Russ? I mean,
they've got a great chance.
Not for anything
they could reload.
Not for anything any near this salary. LeBron James would be off the book. So I mean, you're clearing like $100 million probably. Like just looking at next year's budget.
If I'm LA, I really just want to reload around LeBron and AD. You know what I mean? Because I can.
If we're talking about scenarios where you're getting rid of LeBron. I mean,
yeah, I would just if I'm them, what I want to do is just reload around LeBron and Anthony Davis because I'm clearing so much salary space, especially that Russ contract.
Right.
You could sign another 1 or 2 big time free agents, and it's LA.
And
people want to come there. People want to come win a ring. Like,
yeah, and I imagine a lot of these guys on the team would still give them like right of first refusal kind of thing. Like Pat Bev, if you want to re-sign him to a deal, you know, maybe team friendly based off performance this year and based off of, you know, just trying to win rings and stuff at a big franchise, big market.
It would probably look a lot more like Dennis Schroeder's deal. You know what I mean? But much more team friendly. The only guy that they can't re-sign for a team friendly deal is Austin Reeves. He will get paid somewhere next year, but everyone else
still be here though, right? I mean,
could be in LA if they like him. But yeah, anyone else, like they could move on from, or they could keep Lonnie Walker. The 4th might get paid a little more than that. But yeah. So anyway, LeBron trade rumors, LeBron trade watch. We'll keep you updated. Other thing I want to touch base on here is All-Star voting, man. So we have some data in. Here's the trade rumors. Sorry, we'll go All-Star voting. Here is do we need a little zoom there?
Maybe a little zoom. Oh, so, it doesn't look like it actually zoomed on the right thing, but that's okay.
Well, I'll read it for those who are listening anyway. So in the Western Conference, so the way that this works is everybody can vote once per day. Like you can vote once per day for NBA All-Stars. So in the Western Conference, in the front court, we have LeBron James with 4.8 million, votes. Nikola Jokic with 3.4 million votes. Let's not say anything about these until we're done. Anthony Davis with 2.9 million votes. Zion Williamson with 2.8 million votes. Andrew Wiggins with 1.6 million. Paul George with 1.2 million, 1.3 million. Larry Markkinen with 845,000. Draymond Green with 662,000. Kevon Looney with 435,000. And Kawhi Leonard with 422,000. Thoughts, Casey?
Man, the NBA is weird. Like the NBA, it's all a name game.
Yeah,
it's just all about the name. It's not about the performance.
This is why they only let the fan voting affect the starters, because the fans don't have it too wrong on the top three.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, maybe, but okay, sure.
Yeah, like there's an argument for like, it's like, okay, if it's LeBron, Jokic, Anthony.
I mean, imagine
Davis,
if the Lakers were actually good, how many players they'd have in the top three. Like, they might have all three.
It's LeBron, Jokic, Anthony Davis. That's who would be the starters right now. But yeah, I mean, otherwise,
and definitely at least one guy deserves to be there.
Yeah, Jokic is a legitimate contender for MVP. Like, I think he's in the first. I think he's in first, and he's almost averaging a triple double. He's at 9.7 assists per game right now.
Insane. I mean, you look at his profile, and he's the classic assist guy. Everybody knows that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, he is. It's
He's
so good at everything. He's so good at everything that it's an under like. Not a lot of people know that about him, but yeah, he's
right. But like you look at it like he's raw, like look at his height, his weight. You're like, clearly he's going to be up there in assists. Obviously, that's what he does very well.
He passes out of the post really well. Yeah. So
I mean,
it's
like, I mean, I've never seen anybody. I don't follow basketball as closely as you, but I don't think I've ever seen a big man do what he does as well as he does it.
There's some big men like in the past who've passed like him.
I mean,
but like
that's not probably pretty good. He was good at everything, so like, sure. But.
Yeah, like Will, guys like that. But like it's or Kareem, like, but yeah, no, like Jokic, and there's other conversations around Jokic right now where people are like, should he really win 3 MVPs in a row? I'm like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Like, the question is, should Jokic win the 2022-2023 MVP? If that happens to give him 3 straight, then it's like they should exist in a vacuum. You can't just not give it to him because he's won 2 in a row. If he's the most valuable player, then give it to him. His team is in first in the West. He is averaging a triple double. Like he is probably
especially
the most valuable player to his
contrast to where the Lakers are, and he's literally sandwiched between 2 Lakers. Like it's such a name game. Is LeBron James ever not going to be the one in this kind of voting? Like, no, is the answer. If it's not this year, then no. Like he's going to retire. Like, the last year he plays basketball, he will finish number 1 in Western Front Court voting. Well, whatever conference he happens to be in at that time voting. I bet
when LeBron James retires, and he's no longer playing basketball, he will receive enough votes to be a starter in the All-Star game.
Yeah, write-in votes. I wanted to mention how interesting it is without going to the guard yet in the West. I don't know what you had planned. I don't mean to push the narrative forward, but comparing the front court of the West to the East, I see a lot of like what could be portrayed as like the top heavy narrative, like, oh, the East, sure, like there's a lot of talent, but it's very top heavy, lots of votes all at the top, and then it just dwindles immediately. And I wonder what you have to say about that. I mean, those top 4, let's say, Durant through Embiid in the East, compared to kind of the only people in that like million plus category, like the top 6 in the West. Like, do you think that between those 10, let's say, do you think that the votes are very, like, I don't want to say fairly distributed, but like, does that speak to performance very much at all when you consider those top 10 vote getters at one position?
No, and so where fans really get it wrong,
who's the biggest snub, I guess, is what I'm really asking. Besides
just running away, besides just allowing LeBron to run away with it, where fans really get it wrong is typically in that like 5 or 6 to 10 zone. Kawhi Leonard's like barely playing. And like, what's he averaging?
On Looney's, even as like a guy who would like support Golden State. I'm like, what are we talking?
Yeah, Kevon Looney. So just to talk it like, so 5, Andrew Wiggins. I like Andrew Wiggins as much as the next guy, but let's talk about somebody who's behind him and obviously, have a Larry Markkinen bias. But Andrew Wiggins right now averaging 19.2 points per game, 2.3 assists, and 4.5 rebounds, whereas Larry Markkinen is averaging 24.6 points per game, 8.6 rebounds, and 1.9 assists. Like, he's just overall playing better than Wiggins. Golden State is slightly above Utah, right, in the Western Conference, but that is like so like in flux all the time. So this is the kind of stuff where fans get it wrong. Fan voting essentially favors like Lakers, Celtics, and then whoever is on a run, like Warriors. It definitely favors the Warriors. We got Draymond Green in there. Like, I don't think Draymond Green is even averaging double digits in any stat category. Kevon Looney probably also not averaging double digits in any stat category. I don't know for sure. Like, I could look it up, but like, yeah, they just don't believe it. Jeremy Grant is not even in the top 10 of fan voting. Like, it's a pretty big snub from Portland. Domantas Sabonis is not even in the top 10 of fan voting.
I didn't even think about that, but that sounds like a huge snub.
Yeah. Well, it's because he plays in Sacramento and the fans are like, oh yeah, that guy. Meanwhile, the Kings are in like 4th in the West.
And
Sabonis is averaging a double-double.
You mentioned how like, oh, they snuck up on me. I didn't even fully realize that was happening. And like,
yeah,
pay attention to basketball. Like,
yeah, no, I mean, that's the kind of person who gets snubbed is a Sabonis.
Sure.
Anyway, yeah, moving on. Guards in the West. Top 2, Stephen Curry with 3.9 million, Luka with 3.6 million, John Morant, big fall off. John Morant, 1.3 million, SGA with 1.3 million, Clay in 5th with 836,000, Russell Westbrook in 6th with 689,000, Damian Lillard in 7th with 480,000, Devin Booker in 8th with 306,000, Austin Reeves in 9th with 259,000, and De'Aaron Fox with 221,000.
I mean, Austin Reeves is a talented player. Like, people are excited about Reeves right now, but like, it's criminal how many Lakers are on here, right? Like, I mean, and not just the Lakers are just, in my opinion, the best example how this is just dominated by like names amongst the big market teams.
I mean, it's the Warriors as well. I mean, you're a Warriors fan, but Russ, I'm gonna give Russ a little due here. He's putting up all-star level stats. He's averaging well, no, he's not. He's putting up 15.4 points a game, 6.4 rebounds, and 7.8 assists. Like, probably not all-star level stats, but okay stats. Like, okay for a bench player, not all-star level. And he is in. He probably wouldn't be in if you shook it all out. But this is why they only they got it right on the top 2. Steph and Luka are the top 2 guards in the West. But yeah, when you got Austin Reeves in there, Russell Westbrook in there, even Klay Thompson.
There's a reason why those 2 are separated by more votes than like any other 2 at the top of their. I mean, they're so far beyond any other guard in that conference. Felix has something to say here. He says Jokic doesn't have enough votes. He has quite a bit to say here. Something interesting, I think he pointed out. He grabbed the top 4 names at each respective category here and said they're not even in the MVP conversation, which is exactly what I'm on here, which is like, what are we even voting
Durant
on?
might be. Yeah.
Is this just a popularity contest? Kind of feels that way.
Yep. And that's exactly why they only let the fans vote on the starters, because usually that's about all the fans can get right. And even then they don't get it right, but they're at least like, well, at least these guys should be all-stars. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, there's always some weird, like Austin Reeves in there. Alex Caruso was in there one year when he was a Laker. Who am I thinking of? Taco Fall. Taco Fall was like 7th or 8th, playing 2 minutes a game. All right, front court on the Eastern Conference side. Kevin Durant with 4.5 million, Giannis with 4.4 million, Tatum with 3.2 million, Embiid with 3.2 million. The fans more or less got that right-ish. You know what I mean? Jimmy Butler with 688,000, Pascal Siakam with 510,000, Kyle Kuzma with 358,000, Paolo Banchero with 341,000, Nick Claxton with 255,000, and Julius Randle with 212,000. I actually don't hate what the fans did here. They're not too far off. Like, this is, maybe I just have some, I mean, some notables who are not here are Jared Allen and like Evan Mobley. Gosh, I'm sure I'm missing somebody for sure.
But
Yeah.
when do you think the last time there were?
This was more or less who we were talking about as well, though.
When do you think the last time there was 2 Knicks in the top 10, like like All-Star voting? That feels like it's been a minute.
I don't know, man. Wait, where's another Nick? Nick Claxton and
Derrick Rose.
Wait, what? Is Derrick
Down in the
Rose
guard.
in the top? Oh my gosh! So that's a great example of the fans just like
Right.
not the big
Fans
time
do
miss.
what the fans do.
Yeah, big time miss. So and then on the guard side in the East, Kyrie and Donovan in the top 2 spots. James Harden, so $3 million for Kyrie, $2.7 million for Donovan. James Harden at $1.5 million, Jaylen Brown at $1.5 million, Trae Young at $1.1 million, DeMar DeRozan $835,000, LaMelo Ball with $445,000, Tyrese Halliburton with $428,000, Derrick Rose with $298,000, and Darius Garland with $226,000. So Kyrie, Donovan, Harden are like, and even Jaylen Brown, not bad picks. Tyrese Halliburton is criminally low. Like, this is a great example. Again, like Domantas Sabonis, not even in the top 10 of voting in the Western Conference front court. Tyrese Halliburton in 8th place is just criminal.
And Hallie is a massive fan of the guy. I know I've said this before, but of Brock Purdy, my team's quarterback who just won today. So I'm just gonna shoehorn that in as often as possible. Niners won today. Can't let that go. But yeah, Halliburton, one of the most exciting guards in the game. Love his style of play, particularly. I think that style is the reason why he's so low here. It's not always the flashiest. It's just actually conducive to like team winning basketball. And those guys are the ones who get criminally underrated, like Jokic even. It's hard to say the guy who's second at the most competitive category in the entire sport is underrated. But he is. He should be the first at the most competitive category, and he's underrated because he's a team player. Like, this feels very like having been somebody who honestly is focusing more on basketball now than like for many years leading up to now. Kind of used to be a basketball fan, sort of back in the 90s. Since then, it's been pretty sparse, and then getting back into it these years, it feels like the era of like big hitting home run, like steroid baseball. You know what I mean? Like the Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, like. We're in that where like the names dominate, the big ball stuff dominates. I hope is your connection going okay? You're getting a little glitchy over there.
Oh, I am? Okay, sorry.
Just a little bit. I think you're
hopefully
good,
it's all right.
You sound good. You sound good.
All right. Well, yeah, no, I mean, Derrick Rose, this is another weird one. I mean, it's because he's a Knick, it's a big market team, and they're actually in playoff contention this year. And I will say that Derrick Rose is a former Rookie of the Year, I think former MVP. Derrick Rose is amazing. With the Chicago Bulls, like that guy was so good. I like him. I love Derrick Rose. Like, don't get me wrong. He's having a great, like, kind of twilight year, like kind of a comeback year, right? Like if there's a comeback player of the year, it might be Derrick Rose. Averaging like 17 points, 5 assists a game. Very solid. Very, very solid. Enough to be right where he is? No, definitely not.
Before we move on from this, because I feel like we're approaching the end, I would love to review Vinny, because it's like so perfectly cropped into the visual right now. We've been staring at it for so long. I couldn't help but read it. I would say Vinny's comments like dead on.
Yeah, not quite. So yeah, Vinny.
What do you disagree with?
At Vinny of Viega. So the first half of his comment, I agree with. LeBron being here solely for his name is so annoying. The Lakers are an 100%. Atrocity. Although he's got okay numbers, he's having a down year. Totally agree with that. Mitchell being higher than Brown is also just because of the name. Absolutely not. Mitchell's playing better than Jaylen Brown this year. Same with Harden. Harden also probably playing better than Jaylen Brown this year. Neither of those players have been.
That's tough. I mean, that's tough. Mitch, or like Donovan, Mitchell. Okay, but and I'm not staring at their stats, but just off of memory, it does feel like Harden gets a big name boost. I mean,
Harden gets a big name boost, but Harden's playing probably better than Jaylen Brown is. Let's give him a little.
Is this a career year right now for Jaylen Brown? If it kind of feels that way based off Narrative Street.
21.8 points, 11.2 assists a game for James Harden. It's pretty solid. 6.5 rebounds. Jaylen Brown, let's give him a little check. Sorry, I got some live games pulled up here. Stats.
So I see these Yeah.
27.1 points, 7.1 rebounds, 3.2
Which
assists.
his points are about 10 higher than his career average right now. I mean, he's having a career year. Is that? Would you say that's
great.
fair to say?
I don't think that has like whether he's having a career year or not doesn't mean he's better than another player, right?
No. But I mean, we're dealing with somebody who's in. They haven't been here before, like Harden has. So like,
I would say that this 21.8 and 11.2 is maybe a little more impressive than Jaylen Brown's 27 and 6 or whatever. But yeah, I mean, similar. They're comps. Those two are comps. So saying that like for sure Jaylen Brown's better, no.
I think it makes sense. I agree with you that Donovan
Mitchell is playing better. So that's what I meant is like the first half of his comment. He kind of sounds like maybe a Boston homer, but yeah,
could be.
I don't disagree. The first half of his comment,
I definitely agree with the LeBron. I'll even buy in on the Harden like halfway. The Donovan Mitchell thing though, I'll take your side on that one, John.
Yeah. All right, let's move on here. So I want to had a little thing.
I want to oop too. Oop.
Yeah.
There it is. All right.
Okay, so you know what? Let's talk about Jordan Clarkson. It's a weird one. Utah Jazz guy. But he's in the news this week because I was just gonna pull up some stuff on Twitter. He's in the news this week because he fouled Desmond Bane. So I'll pull up the video and we can talk through it while it's happening. He fouls Desmond Bane. Oh, I gotta present share screen. If you are just listening to this on a podcast app, I'll talk through it, so don't worry. But let's go full screen here.
What John was going to say is go check us out on YouTube so that you can see the video that he's talking about. But in case you don't, he'll tell you what's going on anyway.
Yep. So Desmond Bane gets a little pick and pop pass off the top. Jordan Clarkson gets behind him and just comes around and smacks him in the head. Fouls him super hard. Desmond Bane checks him, and then Jordan Clarkson puts his dukes up. Just like
he squares up, and then Bane immediately goes, "What are we doing?" What?
Right. So Clarkson, here we go. We got a close up here. Like Clarkson comes, like I think he just fully meant to hit him in the head.
And then that was a foul, like a really purposeful foul.
Immediately, as soon as Desmond Bane just turns to look at him, he's like hands up, like he's ready to go. Which kind of begs this like Jordan Clarkson does this pretty regularly. Regularly, in fact. Go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry, it's kind of funny, but also does that kind of speak to like the headspace? He's in like, I don't want to say flagrant foul because I know what it means to the game, but like by like just definitions of words in the English language, it feels like a flagrant foul. He fouls and he's so ready that somebody to like come back at him. He's like, I'm ready to throw a punch.
Well, let's watch Jordan Clarkson's vibe here. So notice that was 96-88 in this game. They were about to put it. Memphis was about to put it away. So this has happened 4 times in Jordan Clarkson's career where he is like squared up, ready to fight someone. Like, and not like we're pushing or we're talking or we're putting our hands out. Like
they didn't even know like, that he had that thought in his head, though.
Yeah, well, it was Jordan Clarkson, so he might have. Like, this dude's already got a reputation. He's done it twice this year. Like, this is the second time this year that this has happened. But like Jordan Clarkson, he puts his dukes up, and it's always so. Here, let's watch this. So, I'm gonna mute it. All right. So this first one, he's with the Lakers. Did you see him? He's down there. All right. So, okay, he's under the hoop here. When it's like his rookie year or something like that. He just outright pushes Dragic to the ground. Dragic gets up ready to fight. Jordan Clarkson immediately fists go up like he's ready to go. They were pushing pretty hard before that. Dragic was kind of getting in him as well, but Clarkson put him on the deck and then just like put his dukes right up. Felix thinks Clarkson needs to join the Sixers and Embiid. Hey, great segue. So here he is playing with the Cavs with LeBron and playing against the Sixers. Zubac goes up, dunks it. Philly had the game put away with 12 seconds left. Jordan Clarkson grabs the ball and just throws it at Zubac. Zubac turns and Clarkson, I guess he didn't quite put his dukes up there. Let's watch him. He just throws it at him. All right. Well, that one he didn't put his dukes up on, but
again, the guy he did it to just looks confused. Like, I didn't even know you had this in your brain that you want to be argumentative at all. He's like, hands up. What are we doing?
This is 26. Yeah. This is 2016 Cavs. They're all pretty mad. That is like kind of an unspoken rule in the NBA. Like they got the game put away, just dribble it out. It's kind of like yielding in Game of Thrones. Like you don't cut someone again after they yield.
I get it. I'm just saying, like, it seems like there's a theme here to these.
No, absolutely. It's when he's frustrated. Jordan Clarkson gets frustrated, and then he just instigates. Like
yes,
instigates,
exactly. He is the
puts his hands
instigator
up.
every time. I mean, I'm waiting for one where you show me where somebody else starts something.
No,
and he goes,
there
"All
that
right."
doesn't exist. What you're talking about right now doesn't exist.
That's fantasy land. Get out of here, Count
Yeah.
Chocula.
Yeah, here he is. This is, I think, from earlier this year. Okay, so there's 5 of them. This is his third of 4 square ups.
I bet he throws a
Oh,
ball.
no, that
at
one wasn't a
somebody.
square up. That one was just somebody got mad at him. That was probably the best. So that dude's mad at him. That dude squares up. I don't know who that is.
That wasn't a square up.
That didn't feel like Jordan Clarkson. Yeah, just Jordan Clarkson. I don't know.
That seemed kind of jovial, honestly.
Yeah, that one was so yeah, somebody kind of pushed him, squared up at him, or was maybe just doing a flex.
I think it was a celebration.
It was like a flex, and Clarkson kind of gave him a little pat on the butt. I don't know why that was in this video.
All one, I think.
Yeah, that one shouldn't have been in the video. But here we go. Clarkson driving. Kaminga knocks the ball out. Clarkson just
good play, right? Oh, and
then here he goes. There's the Dukes right there.
Oh, I got this guy.
Yeah, what was he doing afterwards? Like was he trying to pretend? So Clarkson tries to shoot. Kaminga knocks the ball out of his hands, grabs the ball. Clarkson just absolutely like wraps him up like he's gonna tackle him. And then he's putting his arms out like, "Oh, dude, you okay? You okay, bro? You all right? Like, are we all good?"
I thought he was like, "Oh, I can't believe you did that! Like, look at this guy!" Like, because he did kind of catch an elbow, like way after he mugged somebody. But he kind of got an elbow. I thought he was like trying to get a penalty on his side almost.
He molested
like he's trying to get that like, "Oh, look, he reacted back."
What?
But maybe you missed what I did first. And then he comes back at him. It's so funny. Nobody ever knows that he wants to fight until he.
Did you see that one?
Like what? Man?
Yeah, no, like what? This one he was like, he was super ready. He was super ready. Like the Dukes came up like he was about to throw a punch. Yeah, no, it is. Nobody knows when he's going to fight.
Do we have any actual fights here, or is he?
We'll get to.
He's a tougher guy than me. He's a tougher guy than me, but I have a feeling if people didn't automatically come to hold you back, like maybe he would do this less. Because even there, like he went and then he stops, and then somebody kind of stops him. Like,
good foreshadowing. Good foreshadowing. Okay. So this is the Desmond Bane one. So Desmond Bane reacted. Desmond Bane was on JJ Redick's podcast, and JJ Redick asks him about it. So hold on, I need to switch my sound real quick so people can hear this.
All right, I will.
But yes, this is a great point. Thank you for bringing that up, Casey. I'm gonna switch the speaker to iMac. I got to do echo cancellation, so I'm gonna sound super weird. So I'm just gonna play this so that y'all can hear it. So this is Desmond Bane with JJ Redick asking him about it.
Can't hear it.
Yep, that was still in my headphones. Give me 1 second.
In a fight between you and Jordan Clarkson, who's winning?
It's pretty quiet. Pretty quiet.
Was it pretty quiet?
Yeah. I think you might be good.
All right. Yeah, I just turned it up. All right, one more try here.
In a fight between you and Jordan Clarkson, who's winning?
I don't even think it's a question. Like, I don't even think that is like a question. Like, I think Jordan Clarkson's not really a fighter type. You know, he's done up his foot.
He's squared up a lot, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think he's like 0-4 so far. 4 squares, no punches done.
So Jordan hits you across the head, and you obviously turn to him. For the fan in that moment, real talk, not like I'm gonna fight. Like, what is going through your head? Do you want clarification of why he hit you in the head? Like,
yeah, like I just had to turn. Like, I turned immediately to just kind of see, like, check his energy, just to see, like, did you mean to foul me? Like, did you mean to hit me over the head? Like, and then once he squared up, like, I was like, okay, he meant that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm walking towards him, but there's already 20 people in between both of us. So it's just like, what I didn't really understand what squaring up was gonna do, but yeah, I was confused.
Yeah. It's just
All right, switch your audio back so it's not a crazy echo.
All right, we got echo cancel.
Because I gotta say it again. Desmond Bain is still confused what's even going on.
Yeah, even now Desmond Bain doesn't.
He's
really
like, I don't know what he was thinking. He's just kind of out there and he just does his thing. Jordan Clarkson has some anger issues, man.
It's always when he's like losing and frustrated and he just freaking instigates. Felix says that Jordan Clarkson could join the Sixers and Embiid. He could also join LeBron and Westbrook. He was already a Laker with LeBron, and LeBron didn't like him. And they do go on to say, hey, we love Jordan Clarkson, great ball player. He's a bucket. And that's true as well. As a Jazz fan, I do love Jordan Clarkson. Dude is a bucket. And in fact, there's a bunch of people in the voting for that West front backcourt that like Jordan Clarkson should probably be ahead of. But yeah, the guy likes to put the Dukes up, man. He's ready to fight.
Clearly,
all right.
He likes to.
Cool. So let's move on. I want to try a new little segment here. I guess I could keep sharing my screen, but let me close some stuff here. I'm gonna try something new out, people. We made a discovery. I don't think we made the discovery. I think that like maybe I just discovered it, and a lot of people already knew about it earlier today. Of little name wheel. So I think I'm going to try and do this a couple times, like make this a reoccurring theme of podcasts. So I'll do a team one right now. So I'll just explain how this works. Maybe if it pulls up. All right, there we go. So we have a tendency to just talk about the teams that we like know and like, which maybe isn't bad. But like, for example, on football, it's not a 49ers podcast, but we talk about the 49ers a lot. So this is kind of my way of being like, oh, let's like make sure we kind of give some love to every team, talk about them a little bit, talk about their prospects, what we do if we were them. So I got a little wheel of teams. It's like Wheel of Fortune, but Wheel of Teams. We're going to spin the wheel and we're going to talk about that team. And we're just going to hope that we don't get like the Magic or the Pistons.
Yikes.
Yeah. Sound good? Yeah. Because what's there to talk about if you're the Magic? Or the Pistons. I guess the Magic have like maybe the Rookie of the Year. That's cool.
David Copperfield, David Blaine. Plenty of Davids if we have to talk about.
All right,
Magic.
so I've spun the wheel. We're gonna be 76ers. Yep, 76ers.
76ers. Okay.
Hey, that's cool. So right now the 76ers are in a live game. So we check in on that real quick.
Yeah, let's do that.
Quick. Yeah.
They're also 5th in the East right now at 25-16.
Yeah.
They have a pretty decent grasp on that top 5 spot. That's kind of a separation.
There's a separation point right there. Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of on the right end of it.
Yeah.
Some other interesting facts. They are 17-7 at home and 8-9 away. So they do struggle on the road, especially compared to those other top teams. They all have better records on the road.
Yeah, the Sixers are an interesting one because, man, I can't even find their game here. Just give me a second, I guess. Home. Yeah, I mean, and we can pull up like stats on them as well. The Sixers are super built for win now. No one is ever going to talk about the Magic, Felix says. Hey, there's Magic fans somewhere in the world.
Probably in Orlando.
Mostly, I don't know. Like if you're in Orlando, you might just be a Heat fan. Why not? You know,
just Disney World fans.
Yeah. Yeah. No. So the Sixers, honestly, like they're actually a great team to talk about because they're effing loaded, man. Like this year, yeah. I mean, we kind of talked about them as like a team that might just eke into the playoffs and then make a deep run. But like they're not really eking in. They're really firmly in that 5 spot, which is like perfect for them, right? If they can stay healthy and in the 5 spot and rest some guys, that's fine. But like if we're looking at the Sixers, man, they're very built for win now, but they're very, very good, right?
Can I ask you something that is like a bridge from our last topic to this topic, real quick?
Yeah.
Throwing you off your game, trying to keep you on your toes. Since this was a random thing, it felt meant to be. When I still had the trade machine open, and when we started talking about Jordan Clarkson, I was like, is this the kind of thing that, like, maybe the fan base isn't super thrilled about, like what could you even get for a guy like Jordan Clarkson on the open market? And actually just like the first team that popped up, I found Evan Mobley. Like, would you, they have a similar contract. Mobley has one extra year at about $5 million less. Would you, which would you trade as a Utah fan? Would you trade Jordan Clarkson for Evan Mobley? Just like, would you even consider that for your team?
No, not even close.
Okay.
No,
there a player
honestly,
on...
the fans love Jordan Clarkson. Dude's a bucket. I don't think we care that much about the fists going up. We're kind of like, I like your aggression, man. Like, maybe tone it back a little bit, but like, yeah, I think we kind of like it. And yeah, Jordan Clarkson, he was Sixth Man of the Year 2 years ago. He like really came into his own in Utah. Last year he played okay, but then this year he's starting because Donovan left, and he's even evolving there, right? So like, dude, the guy has like the greenest of green lights. Like, you'll see some of his shots and you're like, that was not a good shot, but it went in. Yeah,
so
and it's just like he's got that winning
the
blood.
transition into the Sixers. The two guys who kind of fall into that same category contract wise would be PJ Tucker or D'Anthony Melton. Do either of those guys do anything for you compared to Jordan Clarkson?
D'Anthony Melton's cool, but no, he's definitely not on the level of Jordan Clarkson. Let's see, how's he doing here? How's he doing? Stats, regular season stats right now. He shoots well, right? So he's a floor stretcher, but he's averaging 11.6 points per game. I mean, Jordan Clarkson's probably somewhere around 20, 21, 22. Right. Career, and that's a career year for D'Anthony Melton. Yeah, he's young, but that's about all he's got going for him, really. He might be good on a team that's not the Sixers and is not so loaded, right? Like, there's a lot of touches taken away. And then PJ Tucker, well, I was definitely not, because he's freaking 100 and he can only play 5 minutes a game. So
yeah,
I would not trade Jordan Clarkson for him. No.
Sure. You like the Jordan Clarkson as an asset. You like that contract for your team, given his like 30-year-old age.
Jordan Clarkson would fetch a lot more. Jordan Clarkson would fetch him a lot more than what you're talking about. So like, if Danny Ainge were looking for deals for him, he'd probably package him up in a way where he could get like a pretty high profile player out of him.
So who do you think on this Sixers team is a good contract then? Who do you I'm still looking at the trade machine. So maybe
let's check Sixers on the trade machine.
Because I was just comparing contracts, not necessarily actually saying that would be a viable trade.
Let's trade,
because it sounds like you're really in on the Jordan Clarkson contract. Then I'm interested to see who you think is the best value on Sixers.
In Philly have a lot of guys that are pretty highly paid.
Right.
Embiid
on 5 years, you kind of almost don't like, it's a blank check, right? You're like, that's great, we have him for 5 years. Cool.
Yeah,
maybe besides
Embiid on 5 years, $33 million. Not mad about that at all. James, that's actually pretty good.
Maxey, he's kind of pretty crucial to the team. 2.7, 2 years.
Yep, he's I think he's still on his rookie deal. So yeah, that's good. Or rookie extension. So yeah, the Tyrese and anytime it's a rookie deal, it's really good. So the Tyrese Maxey contract is really good. This George Niang contract is really solid. He's a role player, so you don't want to pay him a lot, but like a lot of times role players end up getting like more than this. Right. So that's pretty good. PJ Tucker, way overpaid, and it's still on for 3 years. He's had some good years in the past, but the dude is he's not there now. At least in my opinion. Tobias Harris is very overpaid. At least it's only for 2 more years, but Tobias Harris is a good player. Don't get me wrong, but he's not worth $37 million.
I'm wondering would you put him in a great player category? Not phenomenal, not earth shattering, but like great player. Is he a great player in the NBA?
Yeah. I think Tobias Harris is a great player. He's definitely a bubble all-star,
Agreed.
Probably not an all-star, but a bubble all-star. He's the kind of guy that like when they've got James Harden, like it's like they can kind of get the job done even without their top players. And it's because, you never know if you'll have. Felix says you never know if you'll have an all-star Tobias Harris or your usual bench player. Yeah, he is tough to play on fantasy because he's off and on, and so much of that is because he's the third best player on the team. Third best player on the team always has that kind of stuff. Tyrese Maxey's in that same boat where it's like it's tough to play. He doesn't get consistent numbers, when you're playing behind Harden and Embiid. I mean, Harden's going to dish the ball out, so that's great. But like if one of those dudes is hot, you feed the hot hand. That's the number one rule of basketball.
Sure.
Honestly, yeah, they're very deep, and they've got the right pieces. PJ Tucker's a very strong shooter. Tyrese Maxey, really strong shooter. Montrezl Harrell, really good stretch big man. Shake Milton, good shooter. Like they've got the main pieces in Embiid and Harden. That's like those are two, like at times in their careers, MVP level players. In fact, I think that Harden has won an MVP. He's won scoring titles. He's still playing at a very high level. At 21 and 8, 21 and 11. And yeah, Joel Embiid, who is in the MVP conversation for this year. So you got those two, and having Tobias Harris as a third. He's a great third piece. Like that's a very good third piece. Like if I'm looking at championship teams, got teams that I'm like, those are teams that can win it all. Like they can win any 7-game series that would it would take to win it all. It's those teams, right? Like so the Philly is one of them.
Is there any one
do
player
I think
on
they
this
would
team,
beat Boston or the Nets? No, but they could. Like I wouldn't be
is there
that
any
surprised.
one player that would ruin their hopes if they had I'm not saying a major injury, but they had to miss time? Like, is there anybody who could Embiid, probably, maybe Harden, but like, do those guys, can they do it without them? I guess is what I'm saying.
They can't win a championship without Embiid.
Sure. That feels true to me. But they did seem to play okay ball when they were Embiidless for a while. I mean,
yeah,
I think it's a matter of time. Like teams figure you out is the problem, right?
They do, and you've got a lot less options. They can play pretty well without any one player, for sure. Like they would still be a playoff team, maybe even win a round in the playoffs without any one player. But yeah, I wanted to put the Lakers on the other half of this trade and see like, is there anyone that the Lakers could target here? Not really, because Philly doesn't overpay their players like LA does. Yeah, no, I mean that
Tobias Harris.
Philly is good. I kind of am begrudgingly saying this because I kind of dislike Philly as an organization. I shouldn't say that.
If you were the Lakers and Philadelphia was like, hey, heard you were interested in trading LeBron after this year. We have Tobias Harris for one more year for $37 million salary, or probably goes up just a touch, $38 million, let's say. Yeah. And you have him for 1 year. It's not a huge like in on him, but you'll have a chance to re-sign him if he does well. Like, would you take that shot and maybe some picks?
They'd have to be dang good picks, man. No, I don't think I would. They're too built for win now to care that much about picks.
Can't get there. So, what about Harden? Same deal, 2 years.
So like, if I was the Lakers, if I was Philly, I'd take that deal 100%. If I was the Lakers, I would not take.
Consider a package
Tobias Harris. No, not for LeBron.
No. Okay.
No.
It's interesting to me, because it's just the trajectory of LeBron's career. Like, I think his personal success is still there, obviously, but it seems like, I mean, his whole career has basically been like, I will put a team on my back and carry them. Like we're going to be in the finals basically because I'm on the team. This season is a real big shot against that theory, and I don't know, and just kind of on the outside looking in, I don't know that I would consider that like a true narrative anymore about him. Maybe he's just out to prove everybody wrong next year, no matter where he ends up. But like, I don't know if LeBron equals team success anymore automatically. I think you got to have a lot going on in that team.
I mean, I think this is like right now, 2022, 2023 LA Lakers is like the perfect storm of a situation to say like, hey, LeBron, can you really take a team? Can you really like get a team into the finals all by yourself? Because it really is like he does have Anthony Davis, who's been healthy a lot, but I think AD is going to be out or has been out for a while. I can't remember, but like he's missed some time, but he's had Anthony Davis a lot of the time. But like other than that, it's like, let us stack everything else against you. You literally have no floor spacing other than Austin freaking Reeves, that is LeBron classic to make somebody who's not that good look real, real good. Because if they can shoot, he can get them the ball. But yeah, you got Lonnie Walker. They just have no shooting, and like it is like, hey LeBron, if we have no shooting and all the defenders are just crowding you, can you still bring us to the like playoffs even or the finals? No, not now, not at this point in his career. Maybe there was a time. Maybe back in 2007 when he did that with Cleveland and they didn't really have much help for him. Like maybe that version of LeBron could, but I don't know.
I mean, Philadelphia would cross off that big market factor if we suggest them. And it might be a team where like it's a team with some success historically that like if he's true about the fact that like it matters that like Bronny can play with him and like he can kind of slingshot his career into like superstardom, you know, like I think you could do a lot worse than the Sixers for a franchise as far as that being your goal.
Yeah, he definitely could. And if he went to Philly, if LA would accept anything from Philly for LeBron, that actually wouldn't be a bad. That actually wouldn't be a bad way for him to get a ring, assuming that they didn't have to send him Embiid. If they had to send him Embiid, then probably not. But I don't know how Embiid and Anthony Davis would really work together. So
that would be kind of strange. But like, what would it take? Before we move on, take Embiid out of it. What would it take then? If Harris and Harden won't do it, how do we see it without Embiid being involved? I guess because I don't think they would include Embiid. There's just it doesn't seem to make sense.
The Lakers would just have to want to do a teardown.
Right. I mean, that's what I'm kind of suggesting that, I guess.
Yeah. If the Lakers were moving into a teardown and rebuild, then maybe they'd move them for picks and young, like a Tyrese Maxey, right? Like, hey, we'll take young, good talent and your picks, and we'll give you all the 35 to 40-year-old dudes who could maybe still win a championship. I guess Embiid isn't that old, but like James Harden and LeBron would be.
Sure.
Yeah, Felix says Davis is going to have just that 2020 championship if he stays in LA. I think that's kind of the problem with Davis is that it's like he's a little too injury prone. He's too good for you to have very many other good players on the team, right? Like you're going to have to pay him. You're going to have to give him his touches, but then he also like misses time. And he like, Davis is in this weird spot where it's like, he's very, very good, but also I don't know if he's like really, I don't know. We'll see. But I don't know if he's like really going to get you there. Felix also suggests an Embiid for Davis trade. That seems pretty straight across for me. To me, that seems
slightly different skill sets, probably, but like
very similar skill sets. Yeah. Davis, Embiid a little younger. Embiid's probably a little better, honestly. But Davis,
that's what I would think. A little more versatile, maybe. Davis a little bit more of like a traditional big man. I don't know.
Davis shoots well. Yeah, Davis is good when he's on.
Embiid shoots well too, right? I mean,
Embiid's on a lot more often though. Yeah, I would say they're actually very similar players.
Yeah, it doesn't
Davis
seem like
just an older version.
Like it seems like both teams come out at the negative. I don't think this was a real suggestion based off the cry face emoji. But John, I heard you got picks for us.
Yes, let's do some.
How's that for a segue?
Good segue.
Thanks. I practiced in the mirror for like a couple of hours.
Good job. It was it paid off. Your face was all right. It was exactly, I believed it.
Hey, your face is all right too.
Thanks, man. Felix says Embiid's tired of never winning a ring in Philly. Yeah, probably.
Yeah. He'd be
all
a
right,
huge
we're just
advocate of the LeBron trade, I bet.
Yeah, we're just gonna just do a few picks this week and then we will be out. So
If anybody wants to send John an email, there was
now
his email address.
Email. If you were on YouTube, you now know my email address.
Felix,
so that's good.
So ready on this one. Mavericks.
Okay. Well, I feel like okay. Let's give Felix a spot here.
Whoa, Felix! Welcome to the dock, my friend. You will take over for
Felix taking over for Q. So let's get all Felix's picks here. He's got Mavericks.
I don't believe this is week 5 of the NBA.
No, it is not week 5, but it's the 5th time we've done this. He's got Mavericks, Bucks, Raptors. We'll give Felix a minute to catch up.
Felix is running the table. Okay.
Yep. We'll give Felix a minute.
I mean, maybe he just wants to rapid fire. But John, let's try to catch up to him. You got Mavericks or Trailblazers?
I'm gonna go Mavs on this one.
I'm gonna go Mavs as well.
All right. Well, that's no fun. We all have Mavericks.
Well, hey,
we know Felix is gonna pick Mavericks every time. Felix is a Mavs fan.
We got a lot going on. It's okay.
All right, Felix, keep sending us your picks. All right, Pacers at Bucks. What you got here? I mean, this is probably the Pacers. Probably one of the few teams that could beat the Bucks.
I am gonna take the Pacers here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I see you.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Hallie here. I'm gonna take Hallie.
I can't do it. I'm gonna go Bucks. Raptors at Knicks. I think I
Yeah,
might
I'll
go
take the
opposite
Raps,
of you
too.
here too. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're gonna take
yeah.
the Raps. I'm gonna go.
Take the
I'm gonna go
Drakes.
Knicks here. So I got an island game. Felix has the Raptors. Casey has the
Raptorus. I
Raptors.
liked that even better.
The Raptorus. Yeah, I know they're tough. Felix said Pelicans and Cavs is a tough one. Like, yeah, I know
That's
they're tough.
not-
That's why I put them there.
Just write tough one in. It's guaranteed L.
Yeah. So
I'll lead here.
it is a tough one, huh?
I'm
It is a tough one, huh?
I'm gonna toss the Pels out here. I'm gonna go ahead and say, like, I don't think this is a team people thought would be in it. That just says Casey. Okay. Starting with all the wrong letters, John.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. No, I don't think this is a team people expected to be here at this point. But and maybe, is it sustainable success? Who knows? But hey, ride the hot hand.
Yeah. Fly, Pelicans, fly. All right. Felix has the Cavs here, so he's going against you. Felix, do you have an island game here yet? Let's see. No, he doesn't have an island game.
No, he doesn't.
There.
You gonna give him one?
All right. I'm gonna put you on an island here, Felix.
Oh, Felix is
You're
living
the
on
only
Cavs
one
Island.
with the Cavs. So I also will take the Pelicans. Casey's got the Pelicans. Felix goes Cavs. Heat and Hawks. Heat Hawks. Felix, get your pick in. You can keep rapid firing them so we can just put them up.
He wants the Heat. He wants
the
all
Heat.
that smoke.
Heat. I'm rolling with Felix on this one. I'm gonna go Heats. I'm gonna go with the Heat. Casey.
Yeah, no, give me the Hawks. Why not?
Okay. Yeah, the Hawks is just, I feel like they've been underplaying their potential lately. Like,
yeah,
they've got this great backcourt. This great, yeah, they got this great backcourt. Sorry, yeah, the Heat are beatable. Yeah, 100%. However, the Heat, since Kyle Lowry's been out and Victor Oladipo has been running that team, have been rolling. Like, they're on like a pretty big win streak, I want to say. Let's see.
They're about to get figured out by the Hawks.
They're on a 3-game win streak. Hawks are on a 1-game win streak. I don't know if you can call that a win streak if it's 1 game, but the Hawks have won a game. So next up,
Felix wants
we've got
the Jazz.
Jazz
Felix
T-Wolves.
Jazz.
I'll take Jazz. What do you want, Casey?
I'm going to go Jazz here too.
All right. Everyone's house
Jazz all the way across. Jazz pod, naturally. Felix wants the Sixers next, by the way, right? Felix wanted the Jazz.
Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah, sorry. Felix wanted the Jazz.
I know, but I just wrote in the other team because I'm not going to give him
next
what he
up,
wants.
Sixers at Clippers. Felix is going to take Philly.
I'll take Philly as well.
He's going to take Philly.
And John's going to take the Clippers.
I'm going to take the Clippers.
I knew it. I can smell the matchups you pick from a mile away.
The Clippers have been on a roll as well. They're 5th in the Western Conference, I want to say. Nope, they're 7th in the Western Conference. But
that's pretty close to 5th, though. That's not that far off.
Yeah, what are they? They're 500. The Warriors are in 6th at 500, and the Mavericks are in 5th at 558. So
did we get any Warriors in here at all? I don't.
Yes, of course.
Okay. Oh,
I wouldn't do that to you. All right,
a nice
Kings
matchup.
Kings
too.
Lakers. I will take this one. Kings over the Lakers. Kings have
we're gonna
side note on the Kings. Here. I just want to say they've got, I think, the best offense in the league. They're putting up like 120 points a game. Like, the Kings are basically doing this thing where they're like, hey, we're going to put up like 120, 125. Can you put up 125? Like, we're not going to play much defense, but can you score that much? Yeah.
Is that a lot of points?
Yeah.
We've never played basketball before. We didn't know. Is that good? Yeah, I'll take the Kings all day too. Felix wants them as well.
And Felix is going to take Sacktown as well, just because of the Sabonis snub. You show him, Demantis. Show those Lakers. Put up like 30
Sacramento, also known as King's Landing.
Yeah, it is kind of
on
the coast there.
Couldn't help myself.
I like it. All right, Nets at Suns. Casey, you go first.
Man, this is where that West Coast bias is supposed to click in, right? But the Suns are kind of
they're kind of like
we
meh.
Expected, right?
They're kind of like meh lately.
I'll go.
They might be a little banged
I'll go
up.
Nets. I'm gonna deny the West Coast bias here and go with the team that should win the game.
The Suns have been banged up. Their backcourt hasn't been playing. So both Devin Booker and Chris Paul haven't been playing. And I don't know if they're going to play by this time. This is going to be at the end of the week. So you're going to go Nets?
Yep. I'm going to ride with Felix here.
Well, that's no fun because I am as well.
So
we've all got Nets in that matchup. Here we go. Felix, Warriors, Celtics. All right, I'll go first on this one. Warriors Celtics. Because I know Casey's going Warriors, I'm going Celtics.
I am not gonna go Warriors here.
Oh, come on, dude. Well, fine.
I mean,
I'm switching mine.
you could pick a different Warriors game. I mean,
I specifically picked this one because I think you will pick against the.
You picked the best team in
team.
basketball for them to play, though. Like, I mean, I would take the Warriors and probably any. That's like the one team I probably am not taking over the Warriors right now. The Celtics are good, man. They're talking about streaks. They're on a 5-game winning streak right now. Is that the longest in the league?
They've only lost like 12 games all season. One of them's to the Warriors, though.
It's the second longest in the league right now. The
Grizzlies somebody's on an 8-game winning streak. Who is
That's
it?
the Grizzlies, and then the Nuggets and the Celtics both have a 5-game winning streak right now.
Yeah, and the Celtics have only lost like 12 games?
Yes,
Not
a dozen games out of 43. That's
pretty good.
Very good. That's over 70%, 72% winning percentage.
Yeah, I mean the Nets have pulled into second in the East, though. Let's not pretend that's not happening.
Felix says the Warriors are going to be pissed. They're going to be mad at me. Okay.
They are. They're going to be like, you
They
abandoned
can drop
us,
this one, and they're still going to be great. They're going to make the playoffs. Steph will be a hero. It's not a big deal.
You got the Warriors to win the championship, and you just picked
Dubs Dynasty, baby.
The regular season. And they won this matchup last time.
We're talking about regular season.
Anyway, thank you for being here, Felix. Thanks for chatting in. Thanks for giving us your picks. You got on the dock. Took Q's spot for this week. It was a good time. I like the wheel. We're going to do the wheel again. If you are just listening to this, like if you're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please subscribe to us, follow us, and then also leave a review. The reviews help Apple and Spotify to know, like, hey, these guys are actually pretty good. We should show them to more people, and that's really helpful. Casey, you say
kind of good at least, you know.
Yeah, I mean they're okay. They're fine.
These guys are like tolerable.
Yeah, somebody
better
can
than
listen
nothing.
to them.
Triple Cross, thank you for tuning into this weekend basketball episode. Go check out some of our other videos. You know, make sure if you're on YouTube that you're checking out videos and the live tab on our channels page as well, because you will not see everything we have to offer if you just look at videos or live streams. We do a solid mix of both. If you are a football fan, a basketball fan, or a baseball fan coming up in the spring, we plan to have you covered on most major sports in United States. And as always, remember to hit the like button on this video, because I know you liked it if you're seeing me say this right now over an hour into this show. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, because that's going to be another thing that YouTube just realizes, like, oh, this person digs this stuff. Let me show it to them immediately. And just to make sure that you never miss anything we have to offer, make sure you hit that bell icon so you'll get notifications, so you can jump in to our live chat like Felix, have your comments put up on the screen like this, where Felix, or John said LOL, Felix said praying for that wheel spin. You can come in and pray for a wheel spin live on the show as well. We do a lot of giveaways. You might end up winning something if you are live in our chat. Just saying. So until next time, Triple Cross, keep it real. For me and John, we out.
Let's go.